Well, the first answer is yes. That is absolutely true for me, and I struggle with it. There would be these jobs I would get from time to time, and they would cause me to relapse. You know, what I mean, to keep it 100, and I couldn't figure out what the fuck. I'm like, Mike, you living your dream. This is all what you wanted. Like, what is the problem? And it wasn't until that same last job you hear me talk about, man, this Lovecraft country, I had to realize, oh, just because the director yelled cut or it's a wrap, that don't mean all them voices in my head goes to sleep. How do I deal with that? What do I do? And I had to start learning how to meditate. I had to start eating cleaner. I had to start incorporating, a clean way of workout and using my body in ways to exercise that energy. I have a therapist now. I have these grounding techniques that I use on set. One day I bought my therapist to the set one day, same Lovecraft set one day, and she after the take, she pulled me aside. She said, "Wow," and she goes, so tell me something." I said, "What?" She goes, "Where do you go?" I said, "What?" She said, "Where do you go?" I said, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "But you leave. You not there. Where do you go?" And I was like, "Oh shit, that's right. Where do I go?" And I didn't have an answer for that. So now, for me, this just for me, I have tools, and also too, I had to be careful of them. Like these characters against Scoop, people think I picked these roles, man. It's the opposite. It's the other way around. These roles pick me. They give me, and in them, they give me opportunities to heal and to tell the truth, and to give other people permission to begin to tell their truths and to heal. And what I was doing before was I was using things and unresolved issues in my personal life to breathe life into these characters, things that I had not dealt with yet. And that's why I kept getting tripped up. So today I have knowledge of that. Today I have tools to feed my mind and my spirit and to cleanse it. And that's how I deal with that what you talked about.
Wow. And because everybody keeps talking about you playing in When They See Us. And if you don't know that Michael K. Williams played in When They See Us, he played Antron's father, which was a really, really strong role. Me, I had a hard time looking at it because of the fact that I knew every one of those kids except Antron. They were the little kids in my building that we used to say, yo, stay the fuck out of the park. Like they were like the kids you're smacking their head and say, get the fuck out the park. And to watch that and to see how you did it, I remember texting you and I was like, yo, bro, you playing this right, man. Like everything you playing this right, you coming across right. And was that a role that took you deep and dark as well?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And first of all, man, shout out to the Exonerated Five, man. Those my brothers. I apologize I couldn't make it last when they were on the show. I got stuck out in Brownsville, man, working with the violence interrupters out there in the community. But yeah, when they see us took me deep, Scoop, and it took me deep for the same reasons it took you deep. You know, that could have been me. It could have been easily Central Park 5, 6. And they were little boys just that had nothing to do with it. I was living an at-risk life around that time. I'm a little older than those brothers, man, and I was out there. And when I look at Mr. McCray, who I portrayed, Bobby McCray, you know, at first glance on paper, it's black and white. He made some bad choices. He got going when the going got tough. But after speaking to Mrs. Antron, Mrs. McCray, Antron's mother, um, who by the way she passed, man, before the show came out. She never Mrs. McCray never got to see When They See Us, but she still gave 2 hours of what was now some very precious time of her life to sit down and talk to me about who her husband really was. And that's all how she referred to him was either this is the father of my child or this is my husband. And she spoke about him with such empathy and such compassion that after the conversation, I said, Mike, you got to go back to the drawing board, bro. I says, yeah, it's too easy to just play him the way he is on paper. Oh, these are the choices he made. I'm just gonna play this card. I gotta go deeper. I gotta find out what made him leave, because he didn't go deuces. Oh, this is too much for me. I gotta get out of here. I had to find out what made him leave, and that's where the pain came for me, Scoop. When I came to the realization that the police department used his fear and his ignorance of how the system works and weaponized it and used it against him, to the point where he had so much guilt and shame that he was used as a pawn to harm his son. He limped away in shame. Like, there's an old proverb, man, that says if a man cannot provide and protect his family, then what is left of a man? And when I came to that, when I found that truth, that was one of the most painful. Whew.
Wow. They got him, Mike. They took him and they took him, man, and they twisted him around and they made him going to jail. They people, if you haven't seen the show, they twisted him in such a way that they said, we'll let your job know that, you know, your son is involved in this or whatever. And they made it where they kind of turned his arm and made him do that. And that was absolutely wrong. And for you to have to play that, obviously, with your emotion right now, that really, really, really tore you up, because you weren't there, but playing that character, you were really, really, really close up on that in a way that nobody else was. Like, only rivaled by his actual father.
Man, that could have been any one of us, Scoop, growing up here in these streets in New York City. That's the reality, bro. You know what I mean? It's how they twist our words, man. That thing, I still can't. Like, I can't. Like, huh? You could just lie to children. You could just you could man, that, bro, and it's still happening. Like, this just, it ain't like that was a one off, bro. That's still happening today.
Yep.
You know, and so, I look at that, how that could have been my parents. My mother didn't know about no lawyer and what was the right proper line of question as to what. My mother knew two things, man. Take your black ass to school and don't get in no trouble. Right? That's all we was all told. Right? And so I look at that, man, and how that systematically tore those families apart, and put them through the ringer, man. That they got trauma, PTSD behind that will never go away.
Never
You
go
know,
away.
and I just, yeah, we had a therapist on the set. Shout out to Ava DuVernay, man. She and the people at Netflix, man. They had grief counselors on set, because it was overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
It's overwhelming.
It's crazy. I spoke to Jarrell Jerome, who
Yeah.
is actually a family friend of mine.
So,
I didn't know it until we started really talking, just me reaching out to him. And he was saying the same thing. Like, when you're playing that character, man, like, you're deep in it. So whatever they experience, as you're going through the dialogue and the experiences, you're somewhat experiencing the same thing. And and
absolutely.
and that was crazy. But moving on,
Yeah.
people might not know you and how you get down. They know you for being the actor, but they have no idea about you as the community activist. Now, Mike was supposed to be on the show like 3 weeks ago, but what happened was he couldn't come on the show because he was actually in the street doing advocacy. And he was like, yo, man, I just got caught up in the street. I was tired, and I was out there all day. And I respect that, because it's one thing to be a star or a public figure, but when you're giving your life to the people, that's a whole different thing. And I told you, I said, listen, I want you to come on and talk about LEAD, which is learn, earn, advocate, and deliver. And
Yes, sir.
you said to me, yo, are you really down for that? And I was like, yo, bro, there's no way that we can be public figures and take money from the community and not give it back. This is like the most important shit. Your popularity and my popularity, if we don't use it for good, then what the fuck do we really have?
Yes,
So,
sir.
when you said it to me, you were like, "Yo, can you post this for me?" I was like, "I'll post this right away." "Yo, can you help me?" Boom. When this is over, if you need me, I'll come. If I'm there, I'm there, because we have to help the community. So break down to them LEAD, which is Learn, Earn, Advocate, and Deliver. Tell them what it's about.
Yes, sir. So, as you know, as anybody may or may not know, after due to COVID-19, New York City had to gut like the majority of the New York City Summer Youth Program Fund, especially the part that for summer jobs, so summer youth employment programs. All of that has been gutted, right? So, I work very closely with an organization run by my good friend and colleague Dana Racklin. It's called NYC Together, and Project Lead is a program that we put together and we're launching. And what we aim to do is to take the money that we raise to hire New York City high school kids across the entire city, to hire them to come up and to create their own campaigns for their peers to talk about social distancing and what the coronavirus means to them, and how it affects them. How can they do things like have a whatever it is, from the prom to social distancing to and right down into from NYCHA to Midtown Manhattan. If you're a youth in New York City and you're in the city, we want to have this program to hire you to come up with campaigns, talk about social distancing and how to protect yourself and their peers during the corona, and to educate each other themselves about the ins and out of this pandemic. And that's the basis of what Project Lead is about right now.
And people, I want to explain something to you. For those of you who are not from New York City, in the summer, New York City is a jungle. I happen to be from Harlem, New York. I know what that's like. He happens to be from Brooklyn, New York. Now, Harlem is bad, but I want you to
Harlem is very
times
bad right
Harlem
now.
by two, and now you have Brooklyn. Okay? It's going to be a jungle out there. And now you have a situation where some of these kids are not going to be able to have summer youth jobs. You put the kids in the street, they haven't had any school, and now they're just out there open doing whatever. There's a million different scenarios that can happen. Another thing I want to explain to you: if you live in the suburbs, when you walk out the house in the suburbs, there's one of 10 different scenarios that can happen. When you walk out of your door and you live in New York City, there are one of 3 million possibilities that can happen. And a lot of them are not good. So if we can find a way to make sure that these kids have programs and places to be in the middle of this pandemic in the summer to get them over, it is the most important thing you can do. And people, it's like God's work. So if you donate, you're donating to something good. This is something that we need in New York City. It's a issue that's close to my heart because I am from Harlem. I know what this is like. I've seen it with my own eyes. And that's why when he said he wanted to come and talk about it, I said, listen, man, you can come and talk about it all day long. The floor is yours. So I want you to just talk a little bit about it more and explain to people how they can donate and what they can get if they donate.
Yes, sir. So, number one, real easy to donate, man, to contribute. You can go right to my Instagram page, go to the link in my bio, and it's real simple. It's just right there, man. Every little bit counts, and it goes right to these kids, man. They need this. Like Scoop said, if anybody from the hood will tell you the murder rate always goes up in the summertime when school lets out. That's a given. But after the being in the aftermath of Corona, with everything being gutted, you're talking about asking, there are kids who depend on this summer youth program. Sometimes even their families depend on
Mm-hmm.
the monies that are made up from a summer youth job. You know, the aftermath is not just even in the community, the abuse in the home, the stress, the tension, all of that, man, can come from just all that can be alleviated with something as simple as just donating toward this fund. So again, it's called Project Lead. It's a program aimed at hiring high school city kids this summer to help come up with ideas and campaigns around social distancing and healthy ways of dealing with corona, and educating them, their peers, and to protecting each other. And you can go right to my Instagram. It's BKBMG.
I just put it up.
BK. Oh, okay. Thank you,
I
brother.
just put it up.
And the
It's
link
pinned
is in
right
the
there.
bio.
Yeah. The link is in the bio.
Real quick too. We're running to make it fun, to keep it light, man. For all my Wire fans out there, what we want to offer at the end of this, at the end of the fundraiser, is a private Zoom meeting with the cast, with a few members, from the cast of The Wire. Wendell Pierce, who played Bunk,
Yeah.
Sonia Song, who played Kima Greggs,
Yeah.
Alicia Snoop Pearson. Snoop, what up, Snoop?
What up, Snoop?
Right?
Snoop crazy.
Andre Royo, who played Bubbles, and yours truly.
And everybody on that is just super not Hollywood whatsoever. Like Snoop is as
no
real
idea.
as you can get it. Snoop. Like I saw Snoop in the street, and it was really like I thought I was talking to Snoop. Like it wasn't no difference, no nothing. Like she was Young M.A. before Young M.A. Would you agree with me? Like she had all the mannerisms. And like smack you in your face and go have a salad. Like it was absolutely nothing, man. Absolutely nothing. And look. I felt like she had me under fucking pressure. Like man. I was damn, Snoop. So man. Yeah, this is for a good cause, people. Please. The link is in his bio. It is right below. You can get at it immediately. Is there anything that you want to leave the people with, man?
Man, right now I just want to just say I'm hurting today, Scoop. George Floyd. Are you serious? I haven't even healed from Ahmaud. What happened to Ahmaud in Georgia? I just want to just say to everybody in the community, man, it's okay to not be okay, right? Like public advocate Jamani Williams said yesterday, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to talk about it. I'm hurting today, bro. I'm gonna be the first one to say it. I'm not okay today, right? I got trauma. I got PTSD behind this, right? And I don't know what's the next step. I'm tired. The protesting don't work. The marching don't work. The getting angry don't work. Burning shit down don't work. We bust back. What is it? What do we got to do to tear down this system and rebuild it again? What do we got to do?
I'm going to tell you what I think. There's a couple of different things. Number one, and all of them are ugly. Number one is that you have to, and I'm a person who feels like the politicians, they work for us when we pressure them. There needs to be more people the more people that you elect that you pressure because you donated, you did that thing. You see the people, you have to understand you can't just be a voter. You gotta be a donor because they don't work for the voters, they work for the donors. So the dude who donates comes to your door. So let's see, Mike Williams, Fatman Scoop, XYZ celebrity, Charlamagne the God, we all get together and we put up 600,000. We raise 600,000. Now, when we go to the mayor of whatever city, we like, well, hold on, bro. We just donated 600,000 to your campaign. Yo, bro, this ain't gonna fly. That's the way that we gonna have to do it. Everybody's talking about boycotting and not paying and black dollars. Nah, if you put the money behind the candidate, and the candidate gets in office, you have a right to pressure him. For example, if you look at rents in New York City and New Jersey, they are now telling you to use your security deposit as rent. They're not saying free rent. They're not saying rent freeze, car freeze, no freeze. They're saying use your security deposit as your rent. Why are they saying that? Because the people who donate to them are the real estate people. So they want their money. If we donate to these people and now we put them under pressure and put them in task, that's how we're going to do it. Because if your people are in office, they're going to have to make the move.
You better come on, bro. You better come on. We got to speak offline, bro. You feel me? You just gave me a jewel. You just gave me a jewel just now, bro, and I feel you on that. That's something. We got to continue this conversation on another note, offline.
Well,
But
you know, we always go back and forth. But
you already know, but the struggle continues. But I just
yeah,
want to say, lastly, man, in regards to this, you know, I just don't want to see no more lies. I don't want to see no more blood in the street, Scoop. You know. I'm concerned about my brothers and sisters down there in Minneapolis, man. Y'all stay safe. I'm praying for y'all, bro. I hope that we could come out on the other side of this victorious. I have to believe that. That's all I got is my hope right now. And it was weary this morning, so I just wanted to put that out there, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to put that out there, bro.
You know the guy, the George Floyd. That was Steven Jackson, the ball player. He used to play basketball. Steven Jackson. That was Steven Jackson, right hand man. That was Steven. So Steven Jackson was like, "Yo, I'm not letting nothing live until this is over." Now, one of my friends who I'm cool with, he actually became a friend of mine through the show. His name is Kingface_F1. He's a MAGA supporter. He's a black dude that's a MAGA supporter, and he legitimately, and I've seen it many times through the DMs and everything. He got an open line to Trump in them. We were talking. I'm not saying that I gave him the idea, but we were talking. I was like, "Yo, bro, this can't fly, man. It can't work." He was like, "Yo, I'm already on the case." He literally showed me DMs where he was talking to Donald Trump's son and his daughter and Donald Trump's daughter. Boom, 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 boom. This can't fly, man. The streets ain't rocking with this. Next thing you know, they on it. We have to get the people who in their ear to pressure them, man. That's the only way that this is going to work, man. It's
Yes,
the
sir.
only way it's going
Yes,
to
sir.
work. And again, I'm going to stress to you, politicians do not work for the voters. They work for the donors. So if all of us come together with the bread,
bro.
It's a fact. We all come together with the bread. Now we donate to your campaign. When you get in office, bro, you got to look out for us. Why do you think that businesses get looked out before the common man?
Lobbyists.
Because they work for the
they throw that bread. They throw that bread behind their agenda.
That's it. Sir. They throw the bread behind their agenda. So that's how we got to get it done. With that being said, brother, I love you. Hit me. Just send me a DM. I spoke to Dana earlier. Send me a DM or just text me on the line and we'll talk later. This is something we gotta have a one-on-one about. But I got a lot of ideas in my head. Don't let the light skin fool you, bro. I talk to you.
Oh man, we might need to have you come DJ, man, for our fundraiser in October, beloved. If you ain't booked up yet, but I'm booking my business now.
I've said this many times and I'll say it again. If I'm here, I'm doing it. Where the fuck am I going to be in October but here? That's it. That's it.
Love, bro. Love.
We'll talk later, man. Be safe. Be safe.
You too, brother. All right.
That's my man right there.